get to look at a couple of examples in the marketplace. The first chart features the cash Swiss franc as traded on the IMM. This is a close-only or line chart using weekly data. The green lines represent primary bull markets, and the red lines represent bear trends. Immediately you can see that the 3-year bull trend between 1985 and 1987 falls well out of our 1.5-year normal bull market time span. I purposely put this up to demonstrate that the guidelines we looked at earlier are just that, guidelines. Many trends can, and certainly do, fall out of that range. The bull market does exhibit one important principle though, and that's of rising peaks and troughs. If you watch my cursor moving up, you'll see that each of the rallies and reaction are above their predecessor, really until this point in early 1988. This signals the new bear market as far as this particular indicator is concerned. Now, since this is a weekly chart, it's not easy to discern the difference between short and intermediate rallies and reactions. Is this sharp decline in mid-1985, for example, a short or intermediate reaction? That looks more like a short-term one to me, since it only took about 2 weeks to complete. On the other hand, this reaction up here, in late 1986, has more of the feeling of a small intermediate trend, since it lasted about 6 weeks. It was also interrupted by a short-term rally just here. One thing is clear, and that is the principle about positioning yourself against the main trend. Had anyone put on short positions in anticipation of any of the corrections, they would have had their head handed to them on the platter, unless they'd been unusually nimble. On the other hand, it would have been quite difficult to have lost money from the long side, because the rallies that went in the direction of the main trend were strong, and the reactions were weak. They say a rising tide lifts all boats, and the rising bull market certainly did in this instance. Moving on, we see that the bear market was more typical. The time span of 18 months fitted the average. Also, it experienced 5 waves down. An initial intermediate decline just here, a short-term rally, which really took the form of a sideways congestion movement, another intermediate decline, a sharp bear market rally, and a final intermediate decline into the bear market low. The next bull market in 1989 and 1990 also fell within the normal time span, but was closer to the previous bull market in terms of form, that is, very mild bull market corrections and strong rallies. The second chart shows GATX. This first bull market experienced the normal 5-wave up affair. Intermediate rally, short-term reaction, another rally, small reaction, and a final intermediate rally to the bull market peak. The subsequent bear market also unfolded in a fairly normal way. Intermediate decline here, bear market rally, large intermediate decline, short-term rally, and then the final intermediate plunge. See how it was signaled by a failure of the price to make a new high just here in early 1990. Then we see a break below the late 1989 low, because up to that point the series of rising bottoms and tops was still in force. So as far as this particular indicator was concerned, the rising peaks and trough indicator, a bear market was signaled. Now the 1990-91 bull market only lasted for about 10 months, but still exhibited a condensed 5-wave format. Up to that point, things had unfolded in as classic a textbook format as we could hope to get. Then a new decline set in. There was really no signaling point as far as peak and trough analysis was concerned, since there was no intermediate peak. Also, the 3-month decline falls well short of the normal bear market benchmarks. Now, I originally labeled this as a bear market, but having studied a bit more since, I've come to the conclusion that the decline better fits under the intermediate banner. The 40% price drop is certainly a bear market type of drop. However, the 3-month duration of the decline falls well within the normal range of intermediate time spans and well out of the primary trend range. And second, the price retraced less than 2/3 of its previous advance, a gain within the typical intermediate trend parameters.